Hey Collective, it is Intuitive Pisces Moon bringing you a pick-a-pile reading, and this time I have selected trolls for your item to choose a pile with. When I was doing this reading today, I wanted to have a little more fun, and I wanted out of the restricted energy that we've been feeling for a while now. This hopefully will bring in something fresh, new, and light into our lives. So while you're picking a pile, here's how I want you to choose today. Obviously, it's your choice on how you choose, but it's just an exercise if you want to do it this way. So I want you to think back to your childhood. And as a child, I did play with trolls. This was back from the 90s. So which one would your inner child have picked? So today, let's let your inner child choose a pile. So this first one we have here has a streak of light pink and then a dark pink, like a fuchsia in it. All right, so that's the first one there. And for the second pile, this one has yellow hair with a little bit of pink in it too. Okay. And then for the third pile, this one has blue and a little bit of lavender streaked into it. Okay. So let your inner child decide today which one you want to go with. And whichever one you choose, I will see you in that reading. Okay, so for those of you who chose the first one with the two colored pinks, this is your pile. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what messages we have today. All right, so I pulled all of these previously and just want to see what the energy looks like. Okay, so for the tarot, I am using the Alice in Wonderland deck. And we have the Knight of Cups, Temperance, Nine of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. All right, very nice energy for this pile to start with. So, with the Knight of Cups, that could be a messenger coming in with some emotional thing, feelings, expression of love. It could be love. It's just emotions. It's an expression of emotions. This could also mean, listening to your intuition during this time. With Temperance, this is a balance of energy. So you can see the night and the day, and it's about choosing the middle road. So finding that happy medium, not going to one extreme or the other, and balancing your energy. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So this is about emotional fulfillment. You're at the ninth, phase. 10 Cups is happy family, emotional fulfillment. You're still emotionally fulfilled at the Nine of Cups, but typically you're by yourself. And this could mean selfish energy. It could, it does not have to, but that's typically a person in their single energy enjoying their happiness. Okay. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, very, very earth, feminine energy. And she is just sitting there on her nest, happy as can be, with her pentacles, and she is living the good life. So this is a nice spread so far. All right. And then I did pull a couple of different decks. So the first one is the Believe in Your Magic. And we have number 8, Wings. You never needed those wings to fly. All right. So you see the girl here. I really like this image too because she looks like she was in a castle, and then there's her wings stuck, and she's flying without them. And then it looks like that's like a magic trail kind of coming out of it. So basically what this is saying is you have your own abilities within you, and you don't need wings to fly. So I think that's beautiful energy because, some people always think that they need to look outside of themselves for something, for fulfillment, for happiness, whatever the case. But I am also seeing this as a girl waiting in the tower for, the Prince Charming to come and save her. But she's like, heck, I don't need to wait for Prince Charming. I can do this myself. So I'm also saying it that way. Okay, very independent feminine energy. That could be from this. This is also independent energy. All right, we're getting into our emotions and our material things. We're happily single likely, and just loving where we're at in life. Okay, so I see this as a very happy, fulfilled pile. All right, and I think it's beautiful, honestly. All right, and I also have this other deck, which is called the Art Oracles, and this is what that box looks like. I love this deck, honestly. I don't know if any of you out there are art aficionados, but anyways, each card has an artist on it, and it kind of gives you a little bit of information about the artist. So here the wrap up is try to keep violence metaphorical. So you can see here in this picture, this person has cut this person's head off. All right. And it says, adjust your eyes to the darkness, and a head on the shoulders is worth two in the hand. Okay, that is an interesting saying. So I'm going to go look up Caravaggio and see what else it says for that, because these are very interesting. All right, oracles. So Caravaggio was an Italian artist who lived from 1571 to 1610. So by today's standards, Caravaggio would have a medical diagnosis, a genius. He was also belligerent and homicidal. His frequent travels were due to law evasion, not wanderlust. Plague left him a young orphan. Immense talent won him high society's patronage. Like his life, his paintings are passionate and bloody contrasts, light and dark, innocence and brutality, with lots of severed heads. While killing it professionally, Caravaggio literally killed a pimp. He then made his final masterpiece as a fugitive and died shortly after being jumped by vengeful assailants who busted his face and eyesight. All right, well, that very, very interesting. So in there, it did say something about balancing the light and the dark, and that's what temperance is. Temperance is very much about balancing energies. So interesting situation with this artist. Maybe that resonates with somebody. It's a very interesting card to be pulled with this pile. Let's keep going and see what we have. All right, so I do have a self-love. So this is just kind of a recommendation on what you can do for yourself. And it says aromatherapy. So maybe you are needing to do something to heighten your senses. That's what I'm gathering with this. Now, this particularly pertains to smell. However, it doesn't have to. I'm seeing this as, activating your senses. So if your eyesight is bad, maybe we need to strengthen our other senses. I know I definitely feel that way. My eyesight is terrible. So I always feel like when I meditate, I take my glasses off, because what do we need that for? We're using our third eye. So because you may have a dulled sense or multiple ones, it's time to lean on your other senses and strengthen those. Okay. So with aromatherapy too, that could also lead into meditation. That's what it is look like she's doing here, is meditating with aromatherapy. So beautiful card. I love it. Okay. And then we have the Work Your Light Oracle. And the card that we pulled for that is Warrior Woman. So it says, have you answered your deepest calling? All right. Okay, Warrior Woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? You are here for a reason. You are being called to bravely pave a path. Have you answered your highest and deepest calling? Living a heart and soul led life is not all fluffy and smooth sailing. Living a heart and soul led life requires courage to triumph over fear. So often our fears are the gatekeepers to our greatest gifts, and the more resistance we have towards answering a call, the more important it is to our soul's growth. Sometimes fear is an indication that we are facing the right way. Joan of Arc was known for her courage and her famous line, "I'm not afraid, I was born to do this." But the thing about courage is that it's not possible without fear. So if you're feeling afraid, what is needed is courage. And courage comes from living from the heart. Think of the fears as opportunities to expand rather than things that are holding you hostage. If you look at your fears in this light, then as uncomfortable as it might feel, it's actually a sign that you're on the right track. All right. Very, very, very nice. So let's get a couple of affirmation cards to go with this, and then I do have an Alice in Wonderland oracle that we'll read last. Okay. So, first one is, when I truly surrender my desires to the universe, a mighty force of faith can set in. And then we have, I choose to be a super attractor and have unwavering faith in the universe. Okay. So, that can go along with this card and this card. So it's kind of about jumping off. I see there's a tower in this, but this could also represent like the Fool card, taking that leap of faith. And again, this also speaks to me as to, having the fear. You're afraid to leave because you felt like you needed wings to fly, but in reality, you had the strength within you all along and you didn't need the wings. So that could be part of the fear where, you're afraid to do something, take a leap of faith, do something. I'm going to relate it to, our personal lives. It could be a new job. It could be a new relationship. It could be moving residences, anything along those lines. Whatever it is that you feel fear is holding you back from, you can turn that into courage and take that first step. All right. I think this is beautiful energy. You're trusting in the universe and you're surrendering, and then you're letting faith set in. Okay. So the next and last card for this. All right. So the next card I have is from my Alice in Wonderland deck. And this one says 32, belong to your own dreams, and it is in reverse. So let's read on that because there is a message for reversals. Okay. So this one is about creating your own life. And this is a quote from Alice in Wonderland. So I wasn't dreaming after all, she said to herself. Unless we're all part of the same dream. Only I do hope it's my dream and not the Red King's. When Alice plaintively wonders whether everything she has experienced is part of a great dream, the same dream, shared by many beings, she wonders whose dream it is. Just like Alice, we ought to be concerned about whether we are living our own dreams, making our own mistakes, following our own hearts, or simply doing what others believe we ought, and thus making their mistakes, following what their hearts think is best for us, and living in their dreams. Some people and some societies are very powerful. Our culture would like us to live in a certain dream, to marry, to have a home, a good job, and then die peacefully. But that dream, the collective dream, or the dream of our rulers, may not be our dream. This card asks you to remember your own dreams and wishes, and to set about making sure they are governing your choices. All right, I'm going to keep reading, but I'm relating that to, again, we're going back to childhood. So what dreams did you have as a child that maybe got put on hold because, adulting is hard? Maybe you wanted to go back to school, but then you had kids. Maybe you wanted a certain job, but school's too expensive. Whatever the case is, I want you to think back on what, as a kid, you wanted to do. I know that I wrote down at some point as a kid in elementary school that I wanted to be a veterinarian. That would be a cool job, but I think at some point in my life, I talked myself out of it because I don't like blood. I don't want to see the animals pass on if that's, what happens, or be the one to put them in that position. So I talked myself out of it. And I'm sure that many of us have done that. Part of the reason is because society tends to clip your wings. Okay. And they try to have you believe that you shouldn't do something or that you can't do something. But here's the message with that. The people giving you advice and turning down things that you suggest can only see from the perspective of what their limited beliefs can see. And us as a collective have so much more of an expansive way of thinking that, we just surpass the average person in what our dreams could become. Okay. We don't have a lack mentality. We have an abundant mentality, which means we wholeheartedly believe that miracles are possible and that anything can happen and that we can manifest our true desires because we trust in the universe, we surrender. And both of these speak about having faith, unwavering faith. Okay. Having faith in the universe. That's what this is. All right. And weirdly enough, I'm relating this to the Mario Brothers movie too, where Peach is on the course and she can do it easily. She's just like pow, 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 pow. And she gets through the whole course. And then Mario comes up and he's just like, oh, geez, now what do I do? And he falls the first time. And that they say everybody falls the first time. And it took him a long time, but he finally got it. He finally did the course. He was proud of himself after he did it because he practiced and practiced and fell many times. And I mean, he was getting sick over eating those mushrooms, having to go through it. But here's the thing, he made it. He did it. Took him a while. He got there. It took practice. He fell the first time, but he did it. All right, I'm going to keep reading. Many people will encourage you to head in a certain direction and live in a particular way that nearly everyone will agree is right. But you have your own dream, a life in which you will live a little more adventurously and strangely than many others. It is time to break free of the collective dream and live within your own. Belong to only one dream. Magical soul, belong to your own. That is a great message. Now, there's a divination message and there's also a reversed message, so we will get into that. So the divination message is finding you have been following a plan and a path that is not truly your own, deciding to take steps to live in a way that is authentic and truly your own, rebelling. Wishing to live in your own world, no longer making decisions, staying with people or in jobs that are not a part of your dream, not being directed or governed by the desires and dreams of others, deciding to make some big changes toward following the path that is your soul's true dream and its evolution this lifetime. That is great. Okay, let's read the reversal. Content going along with what others feel is right for you. Not thinking through what is best for you, not getting in touch with your own soul, nor going with your dreams. Coasting along and fitting into roles for the sake of ease. Going with the flow, but at the expense of what could be more nourishing and magical for you. Denying your soul calling. All right. So that is the message with the Alice deck. So my closing bit for you in this reading is you have the strength within you to jump off and do your own thing. Okay? Find balance in the light and the dark. Trust and have faith in the universe that when you jump, the universe has your back. Okay? Do things for yourself to uplift your spirit, and just know that underneath there is a warrior inside. Okay? So that is all I have for you today, and I do hope this message resonates with somebody. Please keep in mind that I am a beacon of light, and I am here to help guide you through the darkness. So if you ever need anything, I am always here for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you live a happy and blessed and prosperous life. I wish that for everybody out there. Take care, and I'll see you in the next pile. Bye. All right, for the second pile, those of you who chose this yellow and pink troll, I love their little hair. It's so soft. All right, this is your reading. So we'll start with the tarot at the top. I hope that everybody is doing wonderful today. And if you are working, you're not working too hard, unless you really love working hard. In that case, go for it. Hopefully you're appreciated, whether it's at your job or you own your own business. Appreciate the work you do. Have pride in it. Okay, so let's get into the tarot. We have the Eight of Pentacles. I'm sorry, these are pots, these are cups. Eight of Cups. This is about walking away from what no longer serves you. We have the Nine of Pentacles, which is similar to the Empress card. So this is about having 9 pentacles. You almost have the 10th one, which would be happy family and generational wealth and, very earth energy. Then we have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. So he's here. The saying is he's here for a good time, not for a long time. So it's very fast moving energy. He might be in and out. Somebody might be wanting to send you a message of passion, but it's usually short-lived. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. So that's about balancing act. Somebody could be balancing people with the Knight of Wands. This is very single energy right here. But somebody could be walking away from it too. So maybe somebody's leaving that life. Yeah, you never know. Take it as it resonates. So let's get into the Work Your Magic Oracle, and we have Mirror. Number 4, treat your body like the palace that it is. Okay, so that's self-love all day long. Self-love. Maybe some of you have to work on your self-esteem, your self-image, your self-love. So I love this because she's out there dancing on the water. And because it does say mirror, her shadow is mirroring. So that could be something too. Maybe somebody is doing shadow exercises, doing your shadow work. All right. It's beautiful energy, no matter how you look at it. She's got her headphones on. She's jamming out. She's dancing on the water. I love it. Okay, let's get into the Art Oracle. I love this deck. For anybody who is an artist or just likes artists. All right, so we have Yayoi Kusama. And I'm going to read from the book on this one. It says, your soul is composed of the same dots as the universe. Very true. We're all stardust. And it says, distinguish yourself from your mirror image. That's 2 cards that have the word mirror in it. Show them your hallucinations. Okay, I'm going to go find this artist in the book and read a little history on them, and maybe that information will make a little more sense. So we do have 2 cards that say mirror. So distinguish yourself from your mirror image. What I'm seeing with that, and even with this, is, do you like what you see in the mirror? Do you wake up every day and say, I have so much self-love, I love the person that I see in the mirror. I'm full of it, not full of, BS, but full of self love. I have self worth. I value my time and my energy, and I set boundaries with people. It could also be the shadow work. As I said, mirror shadow work has a lot to do with, you know, embracing that person in the mirror, even with your shadow aspects. Okay, shadow aspects are typically the things that you hide from others. Um, it could be jealousy. I wanted to say envy, but envy and jealousy are the same thing. But maybe somebody out there is just super jealous and envious and need to work on their shadow with that. Um, it could also be hatred. There's just so many things, maybe in our karmic families growing up, there was racism. And so we have those tendencies to look at certain things because we grew up hearing it. You know, our job as adults is to break out of all of that karmic attachment. Just because our families grew up having us believe certain things does not mean that it is our responsibility to carry that on into the future. In fact, it is our job and it is necessary that you break out of that. Okay? That's ancestral trauma and karma that you don't have to choose to be a part of. I just want to throw that out there for somebody because I felt like somebody needed to hear it. Let's read here on this individual. So she is from Japan, and it looks like she was born in 1929. As of the date of this book, she's still alive. So she may still be out there. 1929, man, she's almost 100 years old. It's 2024. So in 5 years, she will be 100 years old. Okay. The now octogenarian Yayoi Kasuma voluntarily lives in a mental institution in Japan, where she draws upon her visions and hallucinations for inspiration. Among the reoccurring elements of Kasuma's work are polka dots, which she describes as the shape that makes us humans, composed of particles, and unites us with the earth and sun. Kasuma's infinity rooms are mirrored artistic chambers that multiply bodies and alter perceptions. Over her long, prolific career, Kasuma has led the avant-garde with bold happenings, big ideas, and bright wigs. Okay, so she likes to wear bright wigs. It's beautiful though if you think about it. So she believes that everything is made up of tinier little particles, and I did say earlier we're all stardust, and it's interesting because we are all made out of the same thing. Okay, going back to the familial trauma and racism, ultimately deep down we are all the same. So you may see something different on the outside, a different skin color, a different religion, different political belief. But here's the thing, if we stripped us all down, what is beneath? Particles. We are all made of the same stuff. And so rather than trying to segregate and put you in this box and you in this box, you over here, we don't work like that as a collective. Okay? I personally do not fit in one box. And if somebody tries to put you in one box and say that's where you belong and that's where you need to stay, that's our job to break out of that. Okay? With the mirror exercises, with the shadow work, you can do it. You have every right to live your adult life as you see fit. And if that means not talking to certain family members or friends or whoever because their beliefs don't align with yours, that is okay. Now, with a friend, it might be easier to disconnect in that scenario because, again, we're allowed to say to friends, we don't align anymore. Maybe in the future our views will change, but right now I don't agree with what you say, what your beliefs are. And so, that being said, for my own peace and sanity and growth, I'm going to go ahead and not be friends with you anymore or not talk to you anymore. Or you can kind of express your feelings. And again, they may be receptive to it and they may not. So I don't want to have you all out there saying, I don't like all my friends because none of them believe the same things I do. I'm not saying that at all. Don't do that. But if you strongly feel that a certain person in your life or people, it could be a group of people, are not in the friendship or relationship for your benefit, and it seems that they want to keep dragging you down to their level, those are the people we want to try to stay away from as much as possible. Now, I know in some cases they're family members, and that's very difficult. I get that. I get that. I've had that where I've had to go to family parties and just kind of know who my people are. You kind of flock to your people and say, we have similar ideals. I like talking to you because you uplift me. You make me feel like I am doing right, and you're not judging me based on my decisions or even my past. But then there's those people that want to constantly trigger you, want to constantly dig up old things. In some cases, it's lie to you. And again, it's usually for their benefit and not yours. So that's what this is saying, is just be careful of that. Be careful of who you blindly follow and trust, because they may not have your best interest at heart. All right. Let's get into some self-love. See what we have here. So we have beauty ritual and create art. All right. So anybody out there looking to become an artist? Somebody maybe already is an artist, and this is telling you to just go create. I know that when I go into hermit mode, which is isolating, doing shadow work, I get very, very creative. And I just like, my energy increases so much. I pump things out like crazy. And I still to this day don't fully understand how it works, but I just know that when I am alone in my solitude, things come to me, ideas, a lot of them. And it gives me such inspiration to just go create. And it doesn't matter what it is, and it doesn't matter how good it is. One of the things I've learned along the way here with being an artist is that oftentimes you're going to make something because you feel called to. You can go make it, feel good in the process, and then it turns out to be something that you're not proud of. It looks like something a kindergartner maybe did. That's okay, because the act of creating can be very cathartic. And I think that that is beautiful energy to be sitting in. Not only that, but you're practicing. You are practicing your artistic abilities. And whether you're good at it or not, doesn't make a difference. Because what you need to do is practice, practice, practice to get better. Okay? So I don't know if you guys all knew this, because they don't really talk about it much, but on my YouTube channel, all of the things that you see in the intro, my picture, and every little snippet of something that's on my channel is my art that I've done over the years. So that whole wall of kind of flowers that you see spinning on my intro page, that is actually the wall right behind me. Okay, I just one day was like, I need to paint this wall, it's too white. So I went and painted that. It did take me a couple days to do it. Uh, but after it was done, I just was so in love with it, because it feels like my space. And it feels like every time I see it, it reminds me of my creative abilities. Okay. I also have a whole wall of my framed art and just different things I've done over the years. And I also have them hanging all over my house. So I'm very much an artist, and I'm proud of the stuff that I've done, and I hang them up everywhere. Now, I don't go around bragging about it. I know right now I'm tooting my own horn, but I rarely do that. But when people come over, I've actually had people say like, "Oh, I thought you bought that." And I said, "No, I made that. It's fun. For me, it's fun." Sometimes it could be a beauty ritual. So one of the YouTube followers, or sorry, YouTube people that I follow, has recently indicated that she doesn't want to do tarot as much anymore. She wants to do makeup tutorials. And maybe that's something that interests you. So your face is a canvas, your body is a canvas. I've always believed that. I change my hair color pretty regularly. I've had it almost every color of the rainbow. It's currently kind of a rose gold sort of color. But, anyways, what this is saying is tap into that. Okay. Whatever it is that's calling you to create, do it. Even if you're terrible at it, it doesn't matter. You are doing it for you. And it is the act of creating that helps transmute some of the shadow stuff and cathartically put it into something else. Okay? We are transmuting our negative energy, or what we perceive as negative energy, into something positive. And maybe, who knows, you are a great artist and you just have natural talent and abilities, and you're going to surprise yourself. A good way too to get into this field is to do those classes. Some of them you could bring a wine and you could paint something and go as a group. And I've done those. Those are fun too. And you have an instructor at the front. They give you everything you need to create the piece of art, and they give you instructions along the way, and you're doing it your own way. What I love about it is that you do see the teacher's version, but then when you look around at the whole class, we've all created something different because we all have our different perspectives, okay? And we all like different colors. And so maybe you wanted this thing to be this color, but the teacher said, I want mine to be blue. Well, I want mine to be purple. So, anyways, that's where we're going with that. All right, let's get into the Work Your Light Oracle. That is this deck. And we have Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. All right, so Mintakens are a soul group who originated on the planet in the constellation of Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original lightworkers. The Mintakens' home planet is thought to have been a water world with water so pure that you could see through it for miles. For this reason, Mintakens feel most at peace and at home when in or around crystal clear water. They are here to teach us to see the potential in everything and the light in all beings. Many Mintakens have an odd longing for home and struggle with the feeling that they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pulled this card, it could mean that you are a Mintaken, or you are longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where it is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth of your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now. To choose where you feel most at home and create it, rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. All right. So there is a light transmission that you can say. So hold your hand to your heart and say the following. I allow myself to be truly here and at home in this planet. I release any grief around not belonging or feeling held and called at the perfect home. All right, that's beautiful energy. So there is water. So, and even these could be water because water-based, watercolors. So somebody could be a water sign. Somebody could feel refreshed or feel like they're at home around water. I know me personally, I do love being around water. I don't like swimming and being in the water unless it's a shower. But I love being around water, oceans, lakes, rivers, whatever. I find it very serene and very beautiful. So maybe some of you feel that energy too. All right, let's get some affirmations. We have, when I'm grateful for what I have, I can feel good along the way for what I desire. And then I am in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. Okay? Now, this is a sun with a cactus and some kind of mountain range here. And this feels like a very hot, dry card compared to the water. Okay, in this card, we do have the sun trying to peek out. And then this is like the darkness of the universe. So it's crazy to me. But that could be like the earth, there is green. All right. So we did pull 2 Alice in Wonderland cards, and they are both in reverse. So the first one says believe, that's 31. And then this one says you are rare and free, number 38. So let's go find those and see what the messages are. All right, so we're going to read this one first, believe. And it pertains to strange encounters. So this is a quote from Alice in Wonderland. Do you know, I always thought unicorns were fabulous monsters too. I never saw one alive before. Well, now that we have seen each other, said the unicorn, if you'll believe in me, I'll believe in you. Is that a bargain? When Alice and the unicorn meet in Through the Looking Glass, neither of them can quite believe what is taking place. For the unicorn, humans are legendary, particularly human children. He never quite believed they were real and thought them to be fabulous monsters. Alice, in her own way, says she never thought unicorns were real either. But there they are, 2 fabulous monsters, and they each must accept the reality of the other's existence. This could be taking place in your life at present. You could be meeting people whose experiences are most unlike those you've had thus far. You may be encountering spirit beings or mystical events that make you wonder at the very nature of reality itself. Once you have experienced the strange reality of people unlike yourself, or of spiritual encounters with guides, visions, or prophetic dreams that leave you marveling at the universe, you can no longer deny the existence of such things. Then your existence will seem just as strange to others. This card asks you to accept that others unlike yourself exist. They will then accept your differences too. In this way, we can begin to believe in each other and live side by side, as different as we may be. I don't know if you guys are resonating so hard like I am with that message, because I literally did say earlier about, growing up with something and fitting in boxes. And, this is about accepting us as we are and acknowledging that there are differences, and not just acknowledging, but celebrating. Why are we not celebrating our differences instead of trying to shove everybody in a different box, in a different category, and say, you belong here, and, oh, we're different, we can't talk, we can't this. I celebrate our differences. You should too. Okay, the divination message is meeting people who are very unlike people you have met before, mystic events and peculiar experiences, interacting with different cultures, customs, and belief systems, mystical encounters with elemental beings who interact with you, finding that they are just as real as you, discovering new places, environment, even climates that are different to any you have experienced before. Something unusual that is most decidedly as real as you are. All right, let's read the reversal message. Refusing to accept differences, feeling that your spiritual encounters or mystical visions are unreal, untrue, or fantasy. Disliking being in an unfamiliar place or space. Finding people too different for you to really connect or engage with. A refusal or difficulty believing in the existence of elemental beings. All right. So with the reversal of that, again, that's very much taken me back to what I said earlier about the kind of familial upbringing. And, maybe they were a certain way, and so you feel that you need to be a certain way. This is asking you to break out of that. Okay? So let's go to number 38. And it says, you are rare and free. There are not many like you. So the quote is, are there any more people in the garden besides me? Alice said, not choosing to notice Rose's last remark. There's one other flower in the garden that can move about like you, said the rose. I wonder how you do it. Sometimes people will struggle to understand you. And when they have this trouble, they may well try to fit you into one box or another they're already familiar with. I'm sorry I'm laughing because I literally said that already. Woo. When you are not clearly one thing or the other, when you are a trailblazer, a rebel, and a free spirit, you are likely to meet with disapproval. And this is what happens to Alice when the flowers, who know just who they are, cannot classify her. They assume she is just a rather wild flower who would much rather be like them. You too are something of a rare wildflower. You are a nature child. You are free, you are adventurous, and you just don't behave in ways that others think are right. You may wish to live outside the rules and conventions of society and culture. You are inspired by being your own self and exploring your potential. You are unconventional, surprising, different, and people recognize this. Some will say you are wrong to be free or downplay you as a weed, which the other flowers do to Alice, but others, like the sweet bud, will love you. Embrace your own rare qualities. Don't try to fit in. You'll be so frustrated and always quietly unhappy. Be brave. By being your own wildflowery self, you'll inspire others, especially those who are younger, to be utterly themselves too. And remember, it's never too late to be a wildflower. The divination message: a struggle to find places where people accept you or where you feel you fit in. You must learn to embrace all that can possibly be. You must embrace all that makes you different and become the very best you that you can possibly be. You will never be defined. So refuse to comply. Explore the frontiers of the human spirit and know how precious and rare you are. Beautiful, beautiful message that goes exactly along with everything I was saying. Now, it is in reverse, so let's read the reversal message. At this time, you may be conforming, and that may seem like the answer, because disguising yourself. All right, let me start over. Conforming may seem like the answer, as may disguising all that makes you different. Okay, so that's about wearing a mask. Maybe you want to feel like you fit in so bad with a group, so you disguise yourself and you make yourself appear to be more like the group you're trying to fit in with. You may be attempting to be like others and allowing yourself to be told who you ought to be. Consider being your own best friend and celebrating your differences. Okay. There we have it. That is the end of the message for this pile. I do hope it resonated with somebody. And I wish you all wealth, health, abundance, love, now and always, divine protection, and be your own self. Don't let others shove you in a box. Okay? You get to define yourself and who you are. And my best advice to you is never, ever, ever, ever give somebody else the power to do that for you. Because then you're not living your own authentic way anymore. You're living for someone else. All right? Thank you so much for joining me here. Just remember that I am a beacon of light, here to help guide you through the darkness. And it's been my pleasure to read for you today. I do look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Bye. All right. If you chose this third troll that has dark blue and lavender streaks, then this is your reading. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with the tarot. I am using the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot. First card out, Queen of Cups, the Chariot, the Four of Wands, and the Five of Wands. All right. So far, Queen of Cups. Wow. Beautiful energy. This is a strong feminine energy, dealing with emotions and relationships, and having strong intuition. Then we have the Chariot, which in this case is Santa or Jack as Santa, pulling a sleigh, going to deliver all the presents. So this is about fast moving action, but it's also about balanced action. So in the original tarot, there is a black and a white horse, I believe, and they are both required to lead the carriage or whatever it is that they're moving. Okay, so it's about balanced movement. All right, waiting for the right time to go. Then we have the Four of Wands. That is a beautiful energy too, because that's that could signify marriage, could signify, you know, having a house, that sort of thing. So it could also be 1111. Some people look at that card as 1111. Then we have the Five of Wands. That is competition, battle, and conflict. Change. Five is change. So beautiful energy so far. Let's get into the Believe Your Own Magic. And we have another 11 there. So 11 might be significant to somebody. It is the Sun card. And it says, paint the sun back into your sky. So we have a lot of darkness in these cards is what I'm seeing too. So this is the moon. She's in the dark. These are dark cards. And these they're seeing by candlelight. And then this is dark. So maybe you've experienced a dark period or are experiencing a dark period in your life at the moment. And this is telling you that you are your light source and that you need to paint the sun back in your sky. That's what I'm seeing with that. All right, let's get into the Art Oracle. That is this deck here. I love this deck. All right. We have Edvard Munch. Ooh, so Edvard Munch made the Scream. So that's not the actual picture of the Scream. That is him put in place of the weird alien looking guy that is in the original painting. All right. So the message under here, and I will get into the book as well. It does say a composed soul is not necessarily a calm one. Scream into a canvas, not a pillow. Ask anxiety to pose for you. Okay. So what I'm gathering with this message, we did also get this, I think, in pile 2. Scream into a canvas, not a pillow. So what they're telling you to do is take your anxiety and put it into something creative. Okay. So I don't know how many of you out there are artists. I know I am, and I do this a lot. So this is saying if you feel anxiety, if you feel any particular way, transmute it into art. Just create something, even if you're not good at it, even if you don't feel like you're an artist. The act of creating in itself is just very cathartic, and that's kind of what the advice is here. So let's read on him. He was born in Norway in 1863 and died in 1944. Haunted by the premature deaths of his mother and sister from tuberculosis, the religious obsessions of his father, and reoccurring brushes with madness and disease, Edvard Munch poured personal pain and anxiety into his singular style of expressionism. Munch's famous painting, The Scream, is available as a popular emoji today, suggesting that personal terror and stifled cries for help have never had wider circulation despite the invention of Xanax. Ditto for Munch's other renowned works, such as Anxiety, Jealousy, and Melancholy. So I think that's beautiful because, again, very cathartic. He labeled the pieces of art how he felt during the time of creating it. And again, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Sometimes artists become super famous after they pass because people didn't realize while they were alive that they were great. But look at this painting. Obviously, ignore this guy. This is just very basic. I'm going to say scribble scrabble. Obviously, it does take a certain level of, artistry to create something like this, but it's not in depth. It's not crazy detailed. All right. You can just create something that gets out those feelings. And I know that that's what got me through a lot of my, especially my early years. And I mean, still as an adult, it helps. I have not gone and labeled my pieces of art like he has. But you know what? If it makes you feel like you're putting that expression on the canvas and it's getting out of you and now it's no longer a part of you, do what you have to do. That's what I'm seeing with this. So beautiful energy. All right, let's see what we have for self-love, self-care. We have sync with the moon and look to the stars. All right. Moon and stars is also darkness. There's literally one card here that says put the sun back in your world. Create it. Because you might be in the darkness. Now, syncing with the moon is about cycles. So with women, it's our monthly cycles. They very, very, very much correlate with moon cycles because the average moon cycle correlates to the average lady's cycle. Just saying. Now, this one says look at the stars, and this one has all the astrology symbols, but it also has the moon cycles too. So this is 2 cards right here with the moon, 3 cards with the moon. This one, it doesn't show a moon or a sun. I'm assuming it could be like sunset or something. But anyways, paint the sun back in your world. So maybe go under the moon and the stars and create a painting. She's painting here. So it's beautiful. All right. Now we're going to go into the Work Your Light Oracle. And we have play. So have fun, celebrate, and don't be so serious. Reminding me of the Joker. Why so serious? So somebody has been in a very serious energy. And that's kind of what the whole point of this reading was supposed to be for. In the beginning, I had you choose your piles based on trolls because I wanted you to go back and remember, being a child and that playful energy. So that is very much what this card is alluding to. It's remember to play and have fun. Okay? Sometimes we go do things that we've always loved. And then as an adult, maybe our mentality has changed. And so, this isn't fun for me anymore. I feel like somebody's kind of stuck in that negative mindset with it. And so we just need to come out. And again, the darkness. We need to come out of the darkness, paint the sun back in our sky, and play. Let's read the card for this one. Stop taking life so seriously. Your spirit needs to have some fun. The more you play, the more inspiration will follow. Take some time out to do something without being attached to the outcome. You're being called to rest and play and learn to have more fun. Do something that makes you laugh. The best medicine around. Call up a friend that you can be silly with. Take your inner child on a date. The more you switch off your mind, the more room your spirit has to whisper and guide. When we do things without being attached to the outcome, ideas, clarity, guidance, and solutions have the space to drop in. The left and right hemispheres of the brain can begin talking to each other, making play a compulsory part of your day. Schedule it. Spend more time doing things just because you love to do them. Just because they bring you joy and light you up. If you follow what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. For when you are lit up, you are the spirit, and when you are in your spirit, you fall into flow with life. How do you play? How do you have fun? What lights you up? If you have been working hard lately, it's time to celebrate how far you've come, all that you've achieved. Don't rush into the next thing. Take a moment to throw a party, go on vacation, or have some fun. So I'm just going to kind of go back to what I used to do to have fun. And for me, it was arcades. I really, really, really enjoyed arcades. I also enjoyed pool and darts, bowling. These were just kind of things that I could do to let loose and enjoy myself. And I'm I can be competitive when I want to be. Um, but that's also some other aspect of the having fun with the things I'm doing with an arcade, some of the things you do just to have fun. Some of them you can win, you can lose. Don't get so tied up in that if you're playing a game that, oh, I won or I lost. It's just the act of doing it. Okay? We're kind of going out and playing with our inner child, if you think of it that way. What would light you up as a child? What was your favorite thing to do? I am just urging you to go try to do it as an adult if you haven't, to try to remember what it feels like to have the lightness, the levity of being a child. The no cares in the world. I got no place to be. I don't have to worry about bills today. I can relax. I can let loose. I can have fun. I can let my creativity take the reins for once. I don't need to be stuck in this must work, must eat, must sleep, must wake up and do it all again the next day. This is not for us. We are not meant to live this way. All right, let's get an affirmation card. When I'm in a state of appreciation, I'm in vibrational alignment with my true love nature. All right. Now, I like this because there's a sun and a moon. There's also two cardinals where I'm from. Cardinals are all over the place. And this can say that you are in alignment, a vibrational alignment to attract a love if you're single. This could also be self-love, okay, the mirror. So having appreciation for what you have attracts that. All right, last one is the Alice, and it says nature communication, flower energies, fairy energies, and elemental messengers. All right. So maybe somebody needs to get out into nature. I'm also seeing that too. Okay. At night or during the day, but somebody needs to get out in nature. All right, that is number 37. So let's read on number 37. And this came in the upright. The other two piles, both, everything was in reverse with this deck. So that is good news. All right. Here's the quote from Through the Looking Glass. "Oh, Tiger Lily," said Alice, addressing herself to one that was waving gracefully about in the wind. "I wish you could talk." "We can talk," said the Tiger Lily, "when there's anybody worth talking to." With this card, Alice thinks that because the flowers are, well, flowers, that they cannot speak, reason, or communicate. They are not like her, and therefore she thinks they cannot ever understand or connect with her. Alice assumes the same applies to the opposite direction. But to her surprise, the flowers in the world, in Through the Looking Glass, can speak, and they are very critical, very picky, and very aware of their choices. While they also make assumptions, thinking Alice to be a flower like them, yet unlike them, they reveal that most of the time they do not speak because they feel there simply isn't anybody worth talking to. Alice then realizes the flowers have recognized her as someone worth talking to, perhaps because she has praised their beauty and simply wished to be able to communicate. She also has humility and a desire to understand. When this card comes to you, do not make assumptions about people, creatures, or beings who seem to be too different for you to communicate with. There is always a way to bridge the gap between us. If you request for these beings to speak with you and stay open to that possibility, there will be communication. This is especially important when working with the plant kingdom, trees and flowers, elementals, and fairy energy. Be a person worth communicating with. Open your heart and mind and express your desire. In that way, new bonds and cords of understanding can grow between the human world and the wonders all around us. So the divination message is you are being asked not to make assumptions. Be open to possibilities that seem to be outside rational expectations. Attempts to communicate with beings from other realms within nature, spiritual planes, or even just humans, as it is thought that there is no chance of speaking to or being understood by. Be open and express the desire for communication. Be more lateral and less literal about the ways communication can take place. Be a being worth communicating with. This will go far. All right. So, very, very, very nice energy in this pile. I don't have anything else for you. And if what you were seeking didn't resonate with you in this pile, you can go check out the other two piles. Maybe you have already. Hopefully something in at least one of the piles did resonate with somebody. I wish you all happiness, joy, health, wealth, and abundance, and love, now and always, as well as divine protection. And may you all be truly blessed on your journeys. And just remember that I am a beacon of light, here to help guide you through the darkness. I'm always here for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I do look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Thank you. Bye.